Hello and welcome to your October 2023 Rate Watch. A little over a month ago, the implied probability of an increase to the prime rate this month was over 100%. This morning, the Bank of Canada announced no change to the prime rate. So, what has happened over the last few weeks? Let's dive right in and discuss all the details. Despite those elevated expectations 30 days ago that the Bank of Canada was going to increase by a quarter percent, today's decision to maintain the overnight lending rate unchanged comes as no surprise. I think there's a really important paragraph to point out in today's press release that we haven't quite seen before from the Bank of Canada. It reads, in Canada, there is growing evidence that past interest rate increases are dampening economic activity and relieving price pressures. Consumption has been subdued with softer demand for housing, durable goods, and many services. Weaker demand and higher borrowing costs are weighing on business investment. The surge in Canada's population is easing labor market pressures in some sectors while adding to housing demand and consumption. Overall, a range of indicators suggest that supply and demand in the economy are now approaching balance. And this is great news for interest rates because what it means is that for the first time, we get a very clear picture that the interest rate hike cycle that we've been in has probably reached its peak. It's too early to say for sure that we won't have further increases, but there's now clear evidence that it's working. Things are starting to slow down. And as things slow down further and targets are achieved, the Bank of Canada will start to cut interest rates. And that leads us to the next important question, which is when will rates be cut? I'm not going to predict when rates are going to be cut. However, I do rely on this tool of implied short-term interest rate movements and probabilities based on bankers' acceptance notes to inform us as to what the market expects will happen with interest rates. So what we can see after today's announcement is that the market is still holding a very slight 12% chance that the Bank of Canada will increase the prime rate in December of this year, which should be read as a hold. And then for Q1 of 2024, there's a 98% chance that the Bank of Canada will hold or 2% chance that it'll drop. And then as we head into Q2 of 2024, we can start to see some serious probabilities, 54%, so better than a coin toss, that the Bank of Canada will start to cut the interest rate by 0.25%, and you can see the probabilities into the future. So how do I read all this? I think there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is change on the horizon, so stay tuned. As always, I will update you at each Bank of Canada meeting. My name is Chris Mulder. Until next time, bye for now.